All right, welcome back to the Two Man Podcast. We have co-host Nash and our special guest. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Alexia Sotomayor, and I'm a professional swimmer.
Very nice.
Welcome to the podcast. We're glad that we can have you here today, and we have just a nice little atmosphere going on, and we're ready to talk about the world of swimming because we know we've had Jeremy Collins and we had David Fleming. So now it'll be very interesting to get into the swim world and see what it's all about. We find it very cool.
So to start off, basic question: how did you get into swimming?
I pretty much started back in Peru. That's where I came from. My mom was a swimmer in the national team as well for Peru, and she got me into this mom and baby academy session by the time I was 6 months old.
You're a
And it
generational talent is what I'm hearing.
yeah, and just ever since then, I've been just splashing around in the water, and then just probably the time I was 3, I started just kind of swimming more into more stuff, and then by the time I was 5, I was already racing, and by the time I was 12, I got into the national team for the first time.
Now, at what age did you start seeing your swim career?
Wait, hold up. 12 years old?
Yeah,
National team?
yeah,
How?
swimming.
What's like the 40-yard dash for swimming?
Well, I first in that same year, that was 2019 for me. I qualified for the first time for the national junior team that was for me in April. It was South American Junior Championships. And 3 months later, I qualified also for the Pan American Games that we were hosting it in Peru that same year. And that was my first adult team for the national team.
Damn.
Now, is swim in Peru big? Is it a huge culture there, the swim team and swimming for, the country?
Not really. I mean, swimming's pretty much small over there. The main sport is soccer, so we're just trying to get more people to get to know swimming a little bit.
Did you ever consider playing soccer as well, or it was
No.
just once you started swimming, you knew
No.
that was it?
I've been stuck with swimming all the time.
Live for the water.
Yeah.
Live, breathe, eat the H2O.
Swim.
All right, so you just told me on the way here you're going to Qatar tomorrow for the national team, all right?
That's some big stuff.
So
Qatar.
what were the steps to get up to that in your current season?
Well, that's one of the biggest things coming up right now, especially 2024 is an Olympic year. I'll be going to my 4th Adult World Championships, and I'm just very excited for it. It's the last official world meet and the adult level for the Olympics. Still, the deadline to qualify for the Olympics is up in June, but this is the main international event coming up before the Olympics. So it's just a really big deal coming up, just been getting ready for it. Throughout the season, well, I started just doing a bunch of meets locally and then just going towards this big deal going on and just very excited for it.
How do you mentally and physically prepare yourself for an event like this? What's a week's worth of training to prepare for this event?
Well, definitely all the practices that have been going on. Probably before a meet like this, I would get ready doing a lot of visualization, just mentally visualizing what could happen, what I want to happen, what I don't want to happen, just having this stuff ready on my mind of all the possible scenarios and just getting ready for it. Because all the work, once I've been doing it in the water, is done. By the time I'm stepping right in front of everyone in the big meet, it's just jumping in the pool and knowing that all the work is done. I just have to do it in that moment.
Now, there's a lot of cameras on you in those scenarios. How is that pressure? Is it big? How are you feeling when you get into that waters?
Honestly, in that moment, I'm really not focusing in that. I'm just focusing in the water, in the lane line that I'm looking at, in the lane in the bottom of the pool. It's really trying not to focus in the outside stuff, just trying to focus on what really matters. Definitely I've been exposed into a lot of media back when I was younger, and especially just getting growing up with that, just kind of also help in the measuring the pressure over that.
So what's your daily schedule every day? Because this takes a lot of preparation. So it's
Yeah. What does the normal day look like
Yeah.
of Alexia?
Well, I would wake up at 5 and then just walk to the pool.
Five?
I say
at
5
school.
a.m.
Yes.
5?
Yeah, 5
Not-
o'clock
not
in the
dedication.
morning.
Yeah, I got 2 more hours of sleep.
Jump in the pool, swim around an hour and 30, hour 15. and then just go to breakfast, and then start with classes, do all the school I have to do, and right after school ends, either at 3:30 or at 4, going to swim again, either an hour and 30 or 2 hours, and then also 3 times a week, and then also an hour for weight room. So it's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
That's insane. Ready? I wake up 7 o'clock, go to school 7:30, and then I don't know what happens from 7:45 to 2:30. It's a blur. I'm just there to be there.
No, because I play baseball. We don't have those morning practices. Thank God. I need those 2 hours of sleep. I won't be able to function.
My tiny little school, they make me
crazy.
go in for like 9 a.m. basketball practices. It's ridiculous. I can't. 3 practices a day, you said? Two,
No,
three?
it's 2.
Two?
Do you
Plus
eat
weight
before?
room? No.
Because you probably can't eat like a big meal before your swim. Like what's like the pregame meal that you eat before going into a tournament?
Oh, well, before practice, just mostly like in the very early morning, maybe a shake. That would be a cereal bar or something small, not really big. Then big breakfast coming up.
I like to eat.
Yeah, and especially like that's a little bit of the myth that a lot of people probably seen in the news about Michael Phelps being capable of eating a full pizza, like just like easy like that. And that's most likely true after swimming. And then, well, before the meets, it just gets crazy. Like the amount of like for swimmers, mostly pastas. We just go crazy on pastas.
Carb load.
Yeah.
So is
Right.
it true that like if you eat 30 minutes before getting in the pool, like you drown?
No, that's not
Some
true.
myth?
That
Start
is not
throwing
true.
up in the water.
No, that probably depends on the person, but I don't think that's true.
Are you a puker? Like you ever throw up from a practice?
Not really.
No. I'm too fat. I'd probably throw up after like 10 minutes.
You'd probably sink in the pool. You'd sink. You wouldn't be able to
Dude, the
swim.
lane lines would probably just break on me.
So how do you balance going to these tournaments in Qatar? And I think you were in Japan recently as well for a swim
Japan?
meet. How do you balance going to these tournaments and also doing schoolwork and just checking in with yourself? How do you balance this all out?
It definitely took a lot of work throughout the years. Probably like since I started doing this very young, by the time I'm here now, it's just like kind of like part of the work is just like my schedule, just like telling my teachers up front, like, hey, so I'm going into this meet, I'm gonna be gone for this amount of days. At this point, the school already knows, like, we technically have an absence limit is 6 absences per class, but I've already passed that, and
You've
it's
exceeded
like,
it a long time ago.
it's just
Definitely.
like over that, and it's just like having a little bit of control, like, yeah, like for example, only for 2 weeks, but I'm not gonna be racing the full 2 weeks. So in some spare time that I would have, just probably get some work done, or like before, ask my teachers like, so what are we gonna do? And they can send me stuff in front and just like doing it like that. Test just like after I get back, just like kind of do whatever I need to do. Teachers really understand and they support that I need to get ready for a test, and like
They give you the time you
they
need.
give me time, yeah.
It's pretty good.
That's really good. And then just like definitely it takes a lot of dedication, and it's just organizing myself a lot and just having everything planned out with time. Just like timing is everything for this, and it's just like that's something I've learned, that the sport's bringing me all these abilities to take them on life as well.
So you mentioned that you're going to Arizona State, as you can see. Got it on. You think it's gonna be like a similar like, lifestyle next year as like student athlete on campus?
Well,
On a bigger campus, I guess.
I'm definitely excited for that. Now Arizona State is being coached by Bob Bowman, Michael Phelps' legendary coach, and it's just like a huge opportunity for me, just like being able to swim with them for the next 4 years. Once I go there, it's just a huge opportunity because I know like a lot of the other recruits that are going there. It's just like they have the big same aspirations I have to try to go to Olympics, or they're current Olympians, current world champions. And it's just like having all that motivation as a team in a sport that's individual, just like working together as a team just brings a lot of more motivation there. And it's just like I feel like that brings a lot to the work.
How does the competition in the States compare to like the competition in Peru for swim?
Or like national competition.
Well, definitely back in Peru is way different. A lot of the people from the national team for Peru, they're actually outside of Peru. Most people don't live, like, who represents the country, they're not in Peru currently. Our team is mostly they're either in college in the U.S. or they're somewhere in Europe. National meets usually I go to national meets now whenever I have to go if it's required for me or I'm in a holiday or something. But definitely like level is not the same as it is here in the U.S. Definitely coming here. There's the metric system difference because everywhere outside the U.S. we use meters in either short course meters that's 25 meters or 50 meters that is long course. But here they also have short course yards with 25 yards, which is just extremely short and it's just like for swimming it's way too many walls and just swimming way too fast and it's just like that a little bit caused me to adapt there, especially because I swim mostly in long course, but definitely this adaptation just like brings me I was not actually imagining going high school in the US. That was not in my plans. Plan was going for college in the US, but definitely this high school opportunity that I got just like brings me a little bit more like an advantage to just do the college transition easier, and especially since I live as a boarding school. It's definitely easier to do that transition later to college.
Oh, nice.
No, what is high school swim like? Is because I've seen practices and they look intense. So what is the high school swim like?
It is definitely exciting. It is just a lot of fun meets. Definitely like for St. Andrews, we have a bunch of dual meets, and then we come to the state series. It's just like a bunch of team bond, and it's just like a lot of that I didn't get to do in Peru. Mostly like we just go on meets and just swim. We don't really get to bond a lot, and especially now like coaches do really take the work on giving us the opportunities to like bond in practice because they know like once we're practicing with people that they know they're going to go through the same really, really tough sets, they're going to wake up with you to go at 5 a.m. in the morning to jump in the pool.
It's our team. You guys are all in it together. You know?
It's just we're all together. So, like, a lot of that just brings up together to the high school meets that even though a lot of people don't make it to states, it's just the way that we're all together in the same teamwork.
So you're from Peru. So how'd you end up swimming here in the U.S.?
Well, it's a funny story because definitely, like, a lot of things that changed with COVID is just, it also changed my life as well. In Peru, we didn't have access to the vaccines really early. So I was forced, if I wanted to keep swimming like in the international meets, I was required to get the vaccine, but Peru didn't have the vaccines in that moment. So I traveled to the US to get the vaccine here. And I knew this family that was here, and their kids went to St. Andrews. And they just told me like, hey, so we're going to have a meet actually like in Orlando, and you should consider coming here. And then you can stay to practice with us and you can meet the team, whatever. And at that moment, I was just like, I'm just going for the vaccine, getting just like, just getting an opportunity there. And I was actually taking the advantage that there was a meet right there. And it was this meet back in 2021. And then I got to meet the coaches, met a few people of the team. And then later on the same year, because I was actually applying to St. Andrews to go as a freshman, but COVID again delayed it because like, my parents got later an opportunity to move to the U.S. Last year. So definitely it was a big change for all of us. I was the one who moved in first. I started at St. Andrews as a sophomore. Definitely I applied to other boarding schools, but I connected better with St. Andrews just on the fact that I knew some of the people that was already at St. Andrews. And just the connection I had with the coaches was really special. Just like the way I knew like they had the same strength that I'm looking for to keep fighting for these dreams that I have. And it's just like, I know with them I can get to accomplish it. So with all of that, I started school here and I have still one more year to go. So
Did you reclass?
Well, Peruvian system is different. So in Peru, we have just till 11th grade. So I would be actually graduated already in Peru. But now I'm a junior, but I'm technically with my age group. Just like I'm a little bit old, but it's okay.
A little older. I didn't hurt anyone.
So what has been your most memorable like moment so far in your swim career? Biggest race, all of it. Let's hear it.
Definitely, it was 2 weeks after I started in St. Andrews here. I went back to Peru. We had the Junior World Championships right there. And actually, we were not supposed to host it. Russia was the ones who were going to host it, but with all the trouble, they actually ended up switching the host to be Peru. and we were just very excited to like be host and all of it. And for me, it was very special because I get to go back home for like the first time I was going like, oh, I started living in the U.S. and now I'm going back home. And I also got the opportunity to make a little bit of history there because for the first time in the event, I was actually not expecting to do really good. I was just a little bit nervous about it. And I was just like, it was the hardest one that I could try to make a semifinal or final. And I ended up going a personal best in the semifinal, ended up qualifying for the final in World Junior Championships at home. It was just a surreal opportunity that I got to be at home and being top 7 in the world. It was just like a huge opportunity I got there.
Yeah, that's really cool. How does representing your country feel? You know, you get invited to all these countries to go swim for Peru. What is that feeling like? Because you just have the name on your jersey, you know. So it's like you're representing the country. How does that feel?
It is just a huge opportunity. I'm extremely honored all the time I get to do this. Definitely like going to World Championships is just like it's been like huge opportunity to represent in probably the second to biggest stage in sports, and just being able to wear the red and white in my shirt and having the flag on my chest is just like it's what I've been always dreaming of. And also listening to the national anthem in the top of the podium is just an opportunity that I really value a lot.
Now you've definitely like created a name for yourself, and I think you're verified on Instagram, all that. So it's like, how did that all come to fruition? Is the Instagram real or fake? You know, we see a big following. You've made a big name for yourself. So when did that all start happening? You know,
Well, I've been on Instagram for quite a while.
Wait, one more thing. Wait, cut you off real quick. Do you run it yourself?
What?
Do you
Yeah.
run you run Instagram?
Yeah.
Big
so
stuff.
how many followers you got? How many followers do you have? If
I
you remember the
no,
number.
I don't remember. I have really quick. I
It's
have
too big. Too big. Doesn't even remember the number.
56,000.
Jeez
It's a
Louise.
lot. And there's a blue check too, right?
Yeah.
7 light.
Maybe
like
our
blue check.
biggest guest, except Jeremy. But this may be the biggest guest.
All right, you were Jeremy. Who are you taking in a swimming race? 'Cause he was on Survivor, but you professionally swim. Oh, wait, we're throwing shit, Jeremy.
Well, she would totally beat out any other animal like in a race, like in a swim race.
Alright.
Like she's winning. I don't know if
Realistically,
Jeremy is gonna.
realistically, like, what animal do you think you could beat in this, like in the pool?
Actually, I have no idea.
Like, what's the speed metric for like how fast you're swimming? Like, is it like miles per hour? Is there like they don't even like calculate how fast you're going in the
Like
water?
we have things, but we pretty much don't use them. But actually, a funny story from that. Just like when was this Friday?
Yeah.
We had an iguana jumped in the pool. It's just swimming there, just
Yeah.
like literally just like sitting in the pool. We couldn't get in. I was just swimming there, and actually, 2 of our teammates got in, and we're swimming with the iguana. The iguana was faster for some reason.
Iguana was faster.
Iguana was faster.
Now is like the swim world very like close? Like, do you guys all like talk to each other in the DMs and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Do you know like
That-
the Russian team? Like you text like.
So are you like
Volkovich?
are you guys like texting Russians like across the world? It's like, hey, like we're gonna beat you in this next upcoming
gosh.
meet. Like,
So is there like mad like competition and beef between like, you guys and the other team? What's Peru's rival team? That's a good one.
Oh, well, Peru's most like between South Americans, we probably like Chile. Like Peru itself against Chile, we have this big rivalry because like it's just like with Pisco, it's just like they want to claim it as theirs, but it's Peruvian. We're gonna take that. No one's stealing it from us. Swimming also a little bit from that, but definitely in the swimming world, the biggest rivalry is probably just like USA, Australia, and
Russia. Is Russia a good swim team?
well, they have like really good people. They're not a lot, but they have really good people.
I bet the Americans and Russian got a lot of beef in the swim world.
But the Ukrainians and the Russians have a lot of beef in the swim world. Oh, and I'm just throwing that out there. It's maybe a controversial topic.
Yeah. Probably do that.
There's actually this thing that USA and Australia does. It's just like the duel in the pool. They do it every year. It's just like a dual meet against USA and Australia. They just race each other.
You said duel in the pool. I was thinking like they're taking noodles, having like lightsaber fights, like on the side,
Little chicken fight.
chicken fights.
So,
What's like the like post swimming competition? Like, is it like chicken fights in the pool? I feel like it's a pool party.
Yeah, what's your recovery look like? What does your recovery look like?
Well, recovery like after meets or
Yeah.
like
No, after
Yeah.
a win.
After a big win, after a big
after a
win.
big win.
What are you doing?
What's
What's going on?
well, after like huge meets, usually like everyone hangs out together, just like
Yeah.
everyone, like all the countries comes together, because like we stay in like hotels, and they just like everyone just like at the end of the meet, everyone in the pool is just like in the closing ceremony, and just like they say out the scores and all of it, and everyone just hangs out there. It's like everyone's just there.
So bringing it back to like your Instagram, when did you start like obviously gaining a lot of followers? Was it after a certain race, or when did all this like appeal start coming?
Yeah, definitely 2019 was the big year. It was right after I qualified for Pan-American Games. Those games were just like a
Huge
huge
publicity.
deal, because I was a 12-year-old going into an adult meet, and it was just like historically I was the youngest one ever doing that, especially because like legally I was an exception to the case of being able to compete, because I was actually supposed to be 14 to be able to just race in the meet for any sport. And I was just sitting there as a 12-year-old qualified
Now,
there,
was
and
this like backstroke, breaststroke, butterfly? What's your stroke?
backstroke's my main thing. I'm really good in butterfly too and freestyle, but I definitely don't know how to do breaststroke. I'm really bad in breaststroke.
Yeah. Because I know my dad swam in college, so he knows what it's like. So I know it's definitely a strenuous activity, swimming.
Yeah, no, for me, it's three out of the four I can do. Because breaststroke, especially because I had an injury back in 2021, I'm been really struggling to do that. So, and pretty much all the time, I'm just like not really good with that one.
I still can't get over the butterfly. Have you ever tried butterflying?
It's hard, dude. It's
I,
hard.
I can't butterfly to save my life.
I mean, I'm just a casual swimmer, you know? Like, I don't know how fast I could swim. I've tried doing it. It's
You
it's
should
it's
race
hard.
Diego. Diego's the butterflyer.
Yeah,
Diego,
I need
is that your boy?
I know Diego. But
Oh,
it takes a lot of conditioning, right? Like swimming's a big conditioning sport.
Is it actually?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
joined
don't you
like
hear they wake up at 5 a.m. to go to practice?
I thought it was like every like pro athlete, right? Or is swimming different?
Well, pretty much, I don't know about a lot of other sports, but like I know like it just like, for example, for swimming, just like depending on like sport, stroke distance, it's just like a complete different schedule. Because like sprinters are just like people who swim like 50s, and like it's just like a really fast event. They could just based off their day in 2,000 meters, and that would be it in just a single session. But long distance swimmers could go from swimming at 10 kilometers per session, and it's just wild. It's just like it varies a lot on whatever event they do.
Are you guys in the weight room at all, or just like
You're lifting
mostly in the
weights?
water?
Yeah, we do weight room 3 times a week.
Cool.
We just
Cool.
doing the weight room.
Just pretty much everything. We do absolutely.
You on the bench?
Yeah.
I'm shooting on bench.
Are they more like CrossFit workouts or
We mix a lot of that. We try to cover like upper and lower body, one day of the other one and one day of the other one, and then just in the middle, just put a little bit of CrossFit.
Intriguing. I don't know much about this. So you do relays or you do 50s?
There's
both?
different events. There's 50s, 100s, 200s, 400s, 800s,
And
1500s.
is the way it works is that they give you like a stroke. You have to go up, do one lap, one stroke, switch, and another stroke.
No.
yeah? Explain this because he doesn't get this at all. He doesn't
I'm
understand.
honestly so clueless.
Doesn't understand the sport. So break it down for him just a little bit.
So swimming, as I said, you have distances from 50 meters to 1500. The only events that go up to 800 or 1500 is freestyle. Then you have 50, 100, 200.
Freestyle is.
Freestyle, yeah. Yeah.
I got it.
Then 50, 100, 200, you have all the four strokes. 200 of every single one of them. In the case of 400s, is either freestyle or medley. And medley you would do, in a 400, you would do 100. In a 50-meter pool would be 2 laps of first butterfly, then 2 laps of backstroke, 2 laps of breaststroke, and then 2 laps of freestyle. And it's just like, it's a lot of events that anyone could pick from. And
I'm calling them out now. You guys are up to some foolery back there behind the scenes. You see this?
So our producers are like making jokes. They're trying, I guess, to ask stupid questions.
I feel like you meditate. Do you meditate before things?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of meditation. You get like the crystals.
No.
Yeah, that's OD. It's OD. Yeah. What is your long-term goal? It's Olympics, right?
Well, definitely the Olympics I'm trying to go for this year. But definitely a lot comes after just qualifying. Definitely like looking forward after college. Arizona State, they have a really good pro group with the same coach, and just like having that chance of like finishing college and poly, then just like finding an opportunity to just stay swimming as pro. Definitely extending my career as long as possible, and definitely aiming for the best. After qualifying, why not look for a semifinal? Then for a final, why not look podium?
Yeah. So after like your like pro career, do you see yourself going to coaching?
I've actually not thought about that. It's just
No?
like I don't know.
Too far out. Like
Do you plan on like staying in America or probably going back home?
No, I'm staying here.
yeah, of course.
Do you have any sponsors by like any organizations?
No, I mean
Not
I've
yet,
I've
not
had
yet.
before. I've had before, but at the moment I don't.
That's cool. That's cool. Who sponsored you before?
I've had a couple of years ago. I had Under Armour. Just
some
just
big
till
stuff.
last year I had
Some big
Adidas.
Adidas?
Yeah,
That's cool.
You like your own swimming
So
cap?
what do they give you? Yeah.
just gear,
What is that like?
shoes, pants, just clothes.
Christmas every day.
Get like special like swimming shoes. Wait, no, those like
Oh,
those like shoes with like the toes in
The
them.
flippers.
The flipper.
Oh,
Fins.
Right.
No. The shoes like they're like the special like water shoes, and it's like your feet are in them.
oh, I know what
That's
you're
what
talking
shoes are, but you
about.
don't talk
Nah,
about. They look like feet.
Oh yeah, I
I
think
don't,
so.
I don't know what those are used for.
Mm.
That's a Google
Back
search.
to a serious question. So talk about when you travel, is all this like all like the expenses? Does it come out of you, or does it come out of like the tournament?
It depends on the meet that it is. If it's the meet organized by World Aquatics or just like a huge international deal, it's covered by either the national federation or
Country
the organization itself. The club meets or just like meets locally, I've had to cover them. So
Now you're definitely a big deal. So what would you say to, people that aspire to be like you, like, definitely other like little girls and like guys, what would you
Why are you laughing?
why are you laughing, bro?
Because
But, like,
they're
what-
laughing.
What would you say to all the people that are watching and like how to get to this level that you're at, to the people back at home in Peru and just like people in America?
well, definitely it's not easy. It takes a lot of work. For me especially, I've grown up with a lot of challenges. I feel like I like to talk a lot about this, and it's just like I was born actually with an eye condition that I was born with my left eye completely blind.
Wow.
And I think like, well, from my perspective it never changed. I was just born like that. And but I know, like, for example, one of the just odd things about it, I'll never be able to see 3D, for example. But just a lot of the challenges growing up, just I've experienced bullying when I was younger too, and also not too long ago.
Would you say
And
that's like influence like the way you swim?
it takes a little bit of that, and just like taking it to motivation, just like all of that just
It's
made me
fueling your
stronger.
fire, you know?
Yeah. A little bit of that makes me stronger in that way.
Did you have like a like I guess like a role model and something like to look out for you like during all that? That kind
Well,
of like help push you forward.
definitely my parents have been just like the ones pushing me from that, because like just like they've seen me go through all this stuff, and just like they've been the ones pushing me to like keep going. And when things gets really tough, like for me this last year has been really tough. Basically getting onto the being part of an Olympic year and being one of the two girls that could be qualifying for the national team at the Olympics is just a huge deal. And just being part of this
a big moment for
opportunity,
your career.
it's just a big moment. And just like dealing with all of this stuff, and just like things that I actually don't expect to happened, and just like obstacles that come in the way, just like overcoming these things, just like leaning towards the final goal, and just like keeping the head up into that. Just don't give up in that dream, because like I've been dreaming with the Olympics for like all my life. Probably peak moment for me was when I was 6 years old. I was watching the Olympics, 2012 London Olympics, back in Peru at my grandma's house, and this is a little bit touching story. Um, I was actually going to my grandma's house, and I was just ready to. I told my parents that day that I wanted to qualify for the Olympics, but I was just waiting to tell my grandma about it. My grandma struggled a lot with a severe cigarette addiction, and it was just like pretty much impossible to take cigarettes away from her. And I went to her house and I told her like, hey, so like this is what I want to do. I want to go to the Olympics, but in order to do that, and I want you to see it, but for that you have to stop smoking. If not, you're not gonna make it. And with all of that, that same day she never touched a cigarette again, and that just like, even though like I know I do this sport for myself and it's my motivation to do it, it's my dream and the one I'm working for. It just like there's a big family connection there that I just like keep pushing around with me.
It's like
And
personal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true motivation. True motivation. Now you really have to do it. So how has that affected your career? Is there a big effect not being able to see out of your left eye with swimming?
Well, definitely like I haven't realized like just like what it would be if I would be able to see it. It's just like for me it's pretty much just like depth perception is a little bit different, but it's not really a big deal. Like for me it doesn't play a
You're
lot for
used to it.
swimming.
Yeah.
Just like probably contact sports would be a little bit hard, just like on the fact that I cannot see like the other person coming from the other side. But that's why like swimming, like since it's me, the line in the bottom or the roof, just like that's my style now.
So we spoke about like personal mentors, but has there any been like anyone like I guess like famous swimmers that like really influenced you who like you like aspire to swim like?
Well, definitely I haven't grown up always with looking at Michael Phelps, just making history all the time. All the things he did from a really young age, just like I feel like it's what most swimmers just like pretty much dream about. Like doing what he did was just an insane
Be
thing.
like Mike.
So if you'd swim in like tandem with anybody, it would be Michael Phelps.
Yeah, well, I mean, actually, just like now having the opportunity to swim under who was his coach in his best moments of his career, just like I'm looking forward to that. And especially, I know like he goes around to some practices at ASU as well, so it's just like very exciting to
Have
do
you ever
that.
met him?
I've been really close. I've been like, about like 5 meters away from him, but I didn't got a chance to like maybe take a
Introduce
photo
yourself.
or anything
Yeah.
because like I was just sitting on the stands and he was just like standing right there at World Championships last year, over the summer, and he was just like
He had like a presence, I guess.
he was doing the news report for the meet, and he like us we were sitting like right on top of that, and they were just like there in the little box, and just like it was just like whoa, we're looking at it.
Because that's like the Tom Brady of swim, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Tom Brady's on a national level. Tom Brady's only here in the U.S. Think about that.
I know.
Michael-
Mike's all over. Mike's hit all the continents. Probably Antarctica too.
Speaking of Antarctica, do you like swim in like cold water? Like when the water's too cold?
Cold waters, we don't like cold water.
No.
It's I
Oh
mean
yeah, is it bad
definitely-
because like your muscle then your muscles freeze also? You
Well, actually, like we train, like when we practice, the water is a little bit warmer than the ones we race at. Like there's temperatures that the pool has to be for the meets. It's usually colder. It's definitely not an issue when it's warm outside, but when it's cold, that definitely comes into play.
That's kind of interesting. Wait, why do you train in like warmer waters versus when you compete in colder waters?
Well, just like because sometimes the pools where we swim at or
Outside,
like
outside.
they're either outside or they have also like just like little kids swimming and just like for recreational swim they do keep it for like normal stuff.
Is it like a big like factor temperature?
If
Like
it's
what-
like extremely hot, yeah. If it's extremely cold too, I feel like definitely like if it's like warmer it's bad because like the heat is just coming like right into your face and like
You get a little
constant
tan then, you
breathing.
know.
Constant breathing is just like bad there. But like if it's cold, probably like just like a lot of warm up and just like trying to hold on there.
So tell us about your home in Peru. Like, how does your life change from going to Peru to
you give us the
America?
rundown. Like, what's the difference between
Yeah.
like Peru and the USA?
Well,
Pros and
definitely
cons.
back in Peru, I've swum in two teams in my whole life. I've been swimming in the first one just like for about 13 years. And then for the last year and a half that I was in Peru, I switched to another one. I've been in two schools when I was in Peru. I switched when I was in second grade, and then I stayed till ninth grade. Transition there, learning English, that was a big deal. Definitely like even though I had like English as like a class back in Peru, just like learning English or whatever. Definitely like coming to the U.S. was a huge deal there because like we had back in Peru the British system, so like a lot of my spelling back in like the first couple months that I was here would be with the British English. So I was just like, oh well, this is a little bit of a thing, and also some words that I would say, they were different, and even till now, like I would say aluminium instead of aluminum, and it's just like weird for me sometimes with some words.
Totally.
But definitely
Aluminium.
Spanish has been my first language forever. My family, that's what we do all the time. We always speak in Spanish. Now that well, my mom, my dad, and my brother moved to U.S. They're living in Missouri right now. They're working on that too as well. But definitely like this transition, just like I feel like I did it smoother than a lot of people that I've known in boarding school coming to the U.S.
Because you had like your friends here.
Well,
probably
I've
mismatched.
had friends like that I knew before here, but also just like the fact that I've been traveling a lot alone. When I was younger, just like started moving with the national team, just like when I started at 12. Then just transitioning to living by myself. When we have training camp and like other times would be like just living with a team for 3 weeks without my parents when I was younger. So just like a lot of that just transitioned into boarding school. I feel like I did it way smoother than a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Your experience with it.
A
You
little bit.
honestly will be definitely more prepared for college than most other people as well, being able to live by yourself and all that. So you're kind of used to it already.
Yeah. Well, definitely like uh for me, for example, I just had in the 2 years that I've been at St. Andrews, I had the first year I had only one semester I had roommate, then I was by myself. And this year again the same thing. I had a roommate at first and I don't have a roommate anymore. So it's just like a little bit of that is basically living by myself. A lot of times with the food, I cook myself or I Uber Eats a lot of stuff. Grocery shopping, I feel like an old lady just going like with my little cart and doing all the grocery shopping I have to do for the week and all that. But it's a little bit of the responsibility I have to take for the dreams I want to achieve.
Now everyone says like if you want to do something like you have to do it yourself. And I feel like that's what it is. Like if you really want to push yourself to the Olympics, like you'll make the sacrifice. And I feel like you definitely have been.
Manifestation.
You gotta manifest it,
Totally.
Like
Totally.
I'm gonna say right now, you're going.
We can feel it. We can feel it. You're going.
We'll see. We'll see you on the
We'll see you on TV with a golden
gold
medal.
chip.
When you get it, are you gonna like
we
bite it?
do-
Are you gonna bite it? Have you like thought about the whole celebration? All
Not
that?
really.
Kind of like in the
start,
moment.
gotta start planning. It's gonna happen.
All right, do a little Alexia time. One of those.
One of those.
What's like the go-to celebration?
Go to celebration.
All right, wait. Has there ever been like a competition where it got like really competitive and there was like some like back and forth with like the other swimmers or no?
Yeah, well, definitely like the big meets, just like we're talking like discussing like being first, second, third, up to eighth place by less than 0.01. Just like this milliseconds define everything. So it's just like a huge deal for the races. When it comes to qualifying, just like making the cuts also, it's just like a big deal there because like it's you against the time. And it's not only just you against the people. It's just like literally racing time. So that's a little bit in the cool thing for
It's an
someone.
interesting concept to think about. You're not really racing against other people. You're racing just for the best time. So
But then also just in some point, like when you're like that's when we're trying to qualify. When you're trying to qualify, you're just trying to go as fast as possible and trying to get the cut. But once you're in that meet and just like racing to get podium and getting a medal, that's where the crazy stuff comes from, and you cannot let anyone beat you.
Can't forget us. We're in the Olympics. Remember,
You got to shout
Strivers
out
podcast.
Strivers podcast.
And then, so
And then maybe we'll have a blue check soon.
maybe we'll have a blue check.
May have a blue
One
check
day we'll
soon.
get the blue check and it'll be good.
And then we'll have you back on when you have the medal. You can bring it here.
So I guess we'll do some closing remarks. Anything else you want to say?
Definitely just like when things get tough, keep the head up. And I always go by the quote of Walt Disney, if you can dream it, you can do it.
If you dream you can do it. Well,
You heard it here
here
first.
for first.
You heard it here first.
Thank you, Alexia, for coming on. It's been an
Thank you.
amazing time.
It's been awesome.
And when we'll see you next, we'll be in the
See you
Olympics.
soon.
Thank you.
Yo, we just wrapped up the pod. You know, we hope you guys enjoyed it. But we have a bet. If this video gets 300 likes, then these two, they'll do a race. So if Eitan wins the race, maybe he'll declare for the national team. But you guys heard it here first. 300 likes and we'll get this race going. So
Let's do it.
I have an insane breaststroke. No one's ever seen it before. It's coming to the woodworks.
cool, baby.
We'll see it.
Let's go. Thank you for watching.